Hello everyone, good morning. How are you today? Are you okay? Everything is okay? Very good. Okay, today's subject is science. Please bring your science book and open page 191. 191. Today we want to talk about moon. The moon. Today we want to talk about moon. Okay, are you ready? Let's start. Page 192. We want to know rising and setting of the moon. Rising and setting of the moon. Do you know what does the meaning of rising and setting? Do you know sunrise and sunset? Sunrise and sunset. But that's about the sun. But now we want to talk about rising and setting of the moon. Look here, I translate for you to know rising and setting moon of the moon. What does the meaning of? In Thai language. Okay, now you can understand what does the meaning of rising and setting of the moon. Okay, let's start. When we look up into the sky, at night, we will see the moon. We will see the moon. When we look up into the sky at night, we will see the moon. Glowing in a white color. Has light, yes. Has light glowing in a white color or creamy yellow color. Okay, since the moon is the only natural satellite of the earth, do you know what does the meaning of satellite? I write satellite also in translate. You can look here and understand what does the meaning of satellite. But moon is the only natural satellite. Okay, natural satellite. The moon is the only natural satellite of the earth. I can ask you this question in your exam blank. Or what is the only natural satellite of the earth? Blank is the only natural satellite of the earth. You have to answer me moon or choose moon in your exam. Okay, so moon is the only natural satellite of the earth and is very close to earth. Is near to earth. It is the second brightest object after the sun. It is moon. The moon is the second brightest object after the sun. So I can ask this question. What is the second brightest object after the sun? You can answer me moon. Yes. So the moon is the second brightest object after the sun. Understand? Okay. Go to the next page. Page 193. The moon is the natural satellite. We know that. We read this sentence at last page, yes. Moon is the only natural satellite. The moon is the natural satellite of the earth. Okay. It doesn't have its own light. It doesn't have its own light, but we can see it glow. Can you understand? When we look the moon, we think the moon has light, but it's not correct. The moon doesn't have light. Why? Because the moon reflects the light from the sun. Okay, reflects the light from the sun like a mirror. Yes, like a mirror. Because the moon reflects the light from the sun. So now we understand the moon doesn't have light. When we see the moon, we think it has a light, but doesn't have light, because the moon reflects the lights from the sun. Okay, so on some nights we can see the moon up in the sky after the sun has set. Sunset. Okay, after sunset we can see moon. We can see the moon up in the sky after sunset. Okay, next page. Open page 195. 195. We learned that the moon rises, and this is very important sentence. The moon rises and sets in the same direction as the sun. In the same direction as the sun. The moon rises and sets in the same direction as the sun. Do you know direction? We know we have north, south, east and west. Yes, north, south, east, west. The moon rises and sets in the same direction of the sun. What does it mean, this sentence? This means the moon rises in the east like the sun. The moon rises in the east and sets in the west. So put in your mind, moon is like the sun, is the same sun. Okay, the moon rises in the east and sets in the west. The moon rises and sets in the same direction, as the sun. Rises in the east and sets in the west. So moon rises in the east and sets in the west. Okay, go to the next page. Page 196. Page 196. Okay, the moon spins around itself. Spins around itself. Do you know spins? Spins. Okay, spins. The moon spins around itself. And also orbits or travels around the earth at the same time. Orbit or travel around the earth. Okay, travels around the earth at the same time. So the moon spins around itself and travels around the earth, but not, it's very fast. More slowly. Okay, so we understand the moon spins around itself and travels around the earth. Both of them spin in a counterclockwise direction. Counterclockwise direction. Counterclockwise direction. Not this direction. Not this direction. Counterclockwise. Do you know counterclockwise direction means? Look here. Counterclockwise direction. Counterclockwise direction in Thai language means, okay, can you understand? So counterclockwise direction. Read again. Both of them spin around itself and travels around the earth. Both of them in a counterclockwise direction, from west to east. From west to east. Okay. When viewed from the North Pole, the spinning of the Earth causes the phenomena called the rising and setting of the moon. Can you understand? I repeat again. When viewed from the North Pole, the spinning of the Earth causes the rising and setting of the moon. When we look from North Pole, the spinning of the Earth causes rising and setting of the moon. Okay. We can see how the moon rises and sets from the Earth as follows. Okay. At the North Pole, we see the moon slowly rise in the east. At the position of A. We see the moon slowly rise in the east at the position of A. Here. While the sun slowly goes down in the west. Understand? We see moon slowly rise in the east and sun slowly goes down in the west. Okay? Moon rise in the east, sun goes down in the west. When the earth is spinning, we know earth spin around itself. Yes. When the earth is spinning, the moon slowly moves higher and then moves lower until it goes below the horizon in the west. This is horizon. Okay. East horizon, eastern horizon, and western horizon. Read again. When the earth is spinning, the moon slowly moves higher and then moves lower until it means moon goes below the horizon in the west. Okay, high, slowly moves higher, and it goes below. It goes below the horizon in the west. The rising and setting of the moon repeats every day. Yes, we know that. The rising and setting of the moon repeats every day. Maybe I ask you in your question, rising and setting of the moon repeats every day, every week, every month, or every year. You have to choose every day, because we know that rising and setting of the moon repeats every day, like the sun. Okay, the moon rises and sets in the same direction as the sun. We know that. The moon rises and sets in the same direction as the sun. Why? Because the moon rises in the east and sets in the west. Do you remember? Yeah, moon rises in the east, and sets in the west. Like sun, because the moon rises and sets in the same direction as the sun, and sun rises in the east and west and sets in the west. Okay, the moon takes more time to orbit the earth. Takes more time orbit the earth than to spin around itself. Okay, the moon takes more time to orbit the earth than to spin around itself. So the moon rises later each day. The moon rises later each day. Why? Because the moon takes more time to orbit to the earth than to spin around itself. Okay? Next page, page 197. When we look up into the sky, at dusk means sunset. The same sunset. At sunset. On the 15th day of the waxing moon, means full moon night. So when we look up into the sky at dusk on the 15th day of the waxing moon or full moon night, we can see the sun slowly go down below the horizon in the west. The sun slowly go down below the horizon in the west as the night starts. The moon with its full round shape, then rises from eastern horizon. Okay, sun, for example, we don't have sun in this photo, but you think sun slowly go down below the horizon in the west, and moon rises from the eastern horizon. It will continue rising. To its highest point. This point is highest point for moon. it will continue rising to its highest point. Then it will move downward and go below the western horizon and go below the western horizon, rise in eastern horizon and go finally go below the western horizon at dawn. Dawn means early morning. Dawn, early morning. At that time, the sun will slowly rise. At that time, the sun will slowly rise in the east to replace the moon that sets in the west. Okay? Moon sets in the west, sun rises in the east. At dawn, early morning. Can you understand? Okay, very good. If you can understand, please answer this question on page 198, question number 2. Tick the correct statement. Read this sentence. If it's correct, tick in your book. Okay, very good. That was our lesson today. I think it's enough. Please stay at home and take care of yourself. Thank you everyone. Bye bye.